This is a Studio Seals production.
Yo, what's up everybody? It's Studio Seals here and I'm back with another video today. This video is going to be a little bit different amongst all my other videos, which is literally one other video. But I wanted to make sure that this video paved the way for a lot of my other videos that will be uploaded onto YouTube up to this point. In other words, this video is going to encapsulate a lot of what I might be doing in the near future for my other videos. It'll be a lot of just gameplay clips, a lot of me talking and commentating over a lot of things that I might have done over the year, or just gameplay and commentary mixed in. But before I get into this video, I just want to let everybody know that I am trying to hit 5 likes on this video. If this video hits 5 likes at least, I'll dig in my butt. Even if you leave a comment that says that my channel sucks, I will greatly take it as good publicity, only because that you took the time out of your day to comment that under my channel, which might mean something other greater than me than it will to you. So anyways, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, a subscribe, or even comment on my channel. Alright, moving on to the video. What you're feasting your eyes on at this moment is just a little bit of gameplay from Pac-Man World 2, strictly done by me, of course. Now, I just want to sit here and take the time to say that Pac-Man World 2 really has a genuine place in my heart as a game. I remember back in the day when I used to play this game on my PlayStation 2, I didn't have a memory card for it, so a lot of the time it would just be me playing this game to the moment that I woke up from the time that I went to sleep. And by the time that I was almost getting ready to go to bed was when I would beat this game. And now, looking back at it, honestly, this game takes no more than 3 hours, you know? But to be fair, I was a kid and I extremely did not know any better. Another reason why I put this game on here, to be specific, is that there's a remake coming out for this game, which is Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac. Now, me personally, I think this remake is really good from an overall standpoint, but if you're talking to somebody like me who's quite literally grown up with the game, then I'm basically going to tell you that they kind of taken away a lot of the aspect and a lot of the charm that has came with Pac-Man World 2, and they did nothing to make it any better in the Re-Pac version. One really good example off the rip is the movement. So the movement is probably one of my favorite things to look at in Pac-Man World 2, whether it be his movement, his ground pound, or his axe kick that he does in the air. Everything is all in one fluid motion. However, in Re-Pac, for some reason, it feels like when he runs, it kind of has a march to it. When he jumps in the air, it's way more floatier than ever. And something that's new to Re-Pac that isn't to Pac-Man World 2 is his flutter jump. He has sort of a flutter jump, kind of like Luigi from any of the new Super Mario Bros. Games. He has a little bit of a flutter kick so that he can descend a lot slower in the air, whereas normally a regular jump will just let him fall freely. So these are ice levels, which normally you cannot see an average descent from a fall because your jump is a little mitigated from your ice skates. However, in the jumps that you see, you clearly do not need a flutter for most of these jumps. The original game was made without any platforms for you to have to flutter jump, or even a requirement for you to do that. So I clearly don't see the reason why there needs to be a flutter jump in this game, even if it is a kid's game. The jump that they give you as is very wholesome, it's very full, so I don't understand why there needs to be a flutter in the first place. The same issue goes with the super butt bounce that they give you in the Re-Pac version. Now, they kind of teased off this little super butt bounce that they give you, which is basically a reiteration of the butt bounce that you get in Pac-Man World 1, where if you butt bounce 3 consecutive times in a row, you'll be able to do what is called a super butt bounce, which is basically a more enhanced butt bounce that gives you a slight bit more height and just a little bit of more area damage surrounding Pac-Man. This gimmick would be really cool if they actually added something that required you to do that in Pac-Man World 2. In Pac-Man World 2, you're only limited to a butt bounce, a rev roll, and an axe kick. And those are the only 3 things that you're required to do throughout the entire game. And there's not one thing that requires you to do a super butt bounce or to even have a flutter kick in the game. So I don't know why they added it in the first place, other than for a kid's audience. Now, I can admit, I've been talking a little heavily on this game, and although it's a remake, I kind of just low-key wish that it was the original game just a little bit more definitive and just a little bit more polished. Me personally, I have nothing wrong with this game being as is and the graphics as is, but if they were to remake the visuals and such things, I kind of wanted them to do it one to one. And yes, I get it, it's a remake, not a remaster, so you're gonna be seeing a couple of things that are different from the original game. But because this is a remake, I really do hope that they do something in homage to the OG Pac-Man World 2 players. For instance, probably have like a older UI, maybe even have the older movement back in style. Anything to show that they had love for their actual game would be appreciated. But other than talking bad about it, I will say that they brought the original voice actor for Pac-Man World 3, whose name is Michael T. Sherman, is now voicing Pac-Man from Pac-Man World 2. They also did a massive overhaul with voice acting in the game. I mean, every single person who talked in that game is now able to talk in Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac, which I think is a really good addition because we didn't have voice acting in the last game. We only had voice acting in the cutscenes. Another thing I would like to add is that they remade all of the bosses in the game so that all of the bosses are a little bit more unique in their style. For example, Blinky and Pinky both have the same exact machine that they fight you in, but they're in very different themes. Blinky's theme is in the lava levels, whereas Pinky's theme is in the ice levels, and they both move in the same pattern and they both shoot in the same pattern. But what differentiates them between the two is that since Pinky is the first boss battle out of the two that you fight, she will go easy on you and only shoot a maximum of 2 snowballs per interval. When you move on to Blinky, his moveset will be exactly the same, but once you move on towards his third and final phase, he'll end up having to shoot 2 and 3 fireballs, whereas Pinky was only able to shoot between 1 and 2 snowballs. So with that being said, I kind of can't wait to see what they do with their boss reworks because they can do a handful of things with them. Maybe since we're trying new things like flutter kicks and even throwing pellets at enemies, which is an entirely new feature in Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac, I hope they try to genuinely do something new with the bosses, since the bosses are practically the same other than the frog. For example, they could make it to where that you can axe kick some of the snowballs or fireballs that are being thrown back at you, or we can find a different way to damage the boss other than using Pac-Man himself as a weapon. Those are some of the ideas that I had when it came to the bosses of Pac-Man World 2, because honestly, the bosses in the game already, they're just a tiny bit bland, I can admit that. But it would be cool if they add a little gimmick for each of the bosses rather than them being recycled for another boss just for them to not be used in any unique way whatsoever. To conclude this, I just want to say that once again, Pac-Man World 2 holds a special place in my heart, and I just don't think that the Re-Pac will hold the same amount of place that's in my heart as the original game will. But since this is a remake, I gotta give it credit where credit's due. The art style that they remade the game in really does reel me back into what is Pac-Man World 2, only because it kind of reminds me of the old retro style Pac-Man that we know and love, you know, the fatter, kind of more chubbier look Pac-Man. And he kind of looks like the Pac-Man World 1 model too, which, not that I have a lot of charm too, but I will say, you know, is a really nice detail to this game. Now, as much of a thought process as I had for Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac, I do want to say that this hasn't even came out yet, and I want to wait for it to come out for me to actually give my opinion on it. Maybe I'll even learn to love it, but for right now, what I'm looking at, it's still just making me grasp the love for Pac-Man World 2 even more than what I used to. So now that we made it towards the end of the video, I want to take the time to shout out some of my friends that have helped me make these YouTube videos and have also given me ideas in the past. These people have not only incentivized me to make more YouTube videos, but have also given me countless of really good ideas to put into my YouTube videos so that they're way more engaging and better than what they usually are. The people that I'm shouting out today is Diarrhea, SGT Pebbles, and Xyama Productions. Give it up for all of them, folks. And now that we made it towards the end of the video, I just wanted to give everybody a big thank you who have sat down and watched the entire video. This is one of my first ever videos that I've uploaded on YouTube that has actually taken an egregious amount of time to make, only because a lot of the editing process, the audio clips, and everything that you kind of see in terms of making this YouTube video was all done by myself. Majority of it was through a phone, since I feel a bit more comfortable editing through a phone. From this point on, if I do upload anything, I will make sure that it's better than my last post that I've uploaded, since the drive of this channel is to try to improve on my video editing skills and my software editing skills. So yeah, it's been Studio Seals here, and you are now done watching my video. See you later, everyone. Peace.
Fucking Cadillac, I'ma swear, baby, we gon'